Hi everybody. According to this blog posting, they're saying that the Fukushima earthquake and tsunami were not natural events, but one engineered to have damaged Japan, and as a first volley in a radiation war against the United States. A second, far more serious attack has been discovered. And apparently the agencies involved are the NSA, the British Covert Services, the Royal Navy, and the Office of Naval Intelligence. A repeat performance is scheduled when we hope is derailed once this report is put out. The United States, North America in general, and Northern Europe will suffer extreme radiation contamination at a level capable of inducing widespread cancers and a drastic reduction in population. This is the plan, and at the end of this article, we will specifically describe the confirmed organization that is responsible for Fukushima, and the manipulation of hundreds of events that began even before the end of World War II. Obviously, this is a translation. The organization described includes one former two former presidents, at the very least, two former CIA directors, planned assassination of JFK. And apparently this organization of these particular people, that is two former presidents, two former CIA directors, they had at their disposal nuclear weapons and energy devices. Several key members of Congress are active members. One, a former presidential candidate, some willingly, some blackmailed, either by pedophile rings in the US and Europe, or through threats and extortion. And I have heard that. These people that they put in positions of power are there because they are blackmailable. Well-known families are involved. In some cases, they're scheduled to rise to power, have actually been replaced with trained agents. Now, this apparently was an internet rumor. It's no longer a rumor, it's apparently fact. Breivik is a member of this organization, as are the police in Norway, Poland, and elsewhere. The P2 Gladio operation, responsible for acts of terror through the 70s, 80s, and 90s, for this organization, sanctioned by NATO and the CIA, but purely working for a cabal of pseudo, uber-mentioned, delusional superhumans, by their own pronouncement, members of ancient bloodlines who stand above Bilderbergers, Skull and Bones, or the more public low-ranking secret societies. Freemasonry, Jesuits, and hundreds of high-ranking Satanists who sit at the forefront of an American government and power are at the forefront of all Europe and are served by this organization. It wasn't democracy that won World War II. America lost, just as General Patton told Eisenhower. Russia would rule the East and infiltrate the West. Germany's services under Carnaris would bring America to her knees, even if it took decades, which it did. The end of the Cold War and the beginning of the War on Terror, as smooth a transition as imaginable. Its own Pearl Harbor planned so carefully, timed so easily, wars that last decades, faith in everything disappearing. A world taught to take it from the behind and keep its mouth shut. An important aspect of putting together the coup of 2001 began in 1945, when the defeat turned into American disarmament and the establishment of political organizations that would turn America from a global superpower to a slave state. Paperclip was part of that takeover. Allen Dulles, his brother John Foster Dulles, both Hitler's lawyers at one time. Nixon joined the cabal, bringing Kissinger, General Dornberger, and Colonel Werner von Braun of the SS were tasked with strangling the U.S. missile and space programs. It was George H.W. Bush, aided by his elderly father, Senator Prescott Bush, that positioned them for their work. Learn all you can about Dornberger, about him, about Bush, about Dulles, about Lee Oswald, and about von Braun. Bush, war hero of Chichijima, or something very different, shot down over water or landed and delivered to a waiting American submarine at the orders of Admiral McCain, said by a knowledgeable few to have been the architect of naval disasters, nearly responsible for the death of 25,000 abandoned Marines on Guadalcanal. And these, the rumors the internet brings us, are suppressed history, knowledge, and proof of which, were such proof to exist, to be a death sentence. Years later, we saw McCain, an admiral, engineer the attack on the USS Liberty. We saw his son on 32 broadcasts, while a prisoner of war, standing accused of treason, now serving in the Senate alongside Senator Lieberman. McCain enjoying a heroic history and a presidential pardon at the same time. We even have one Medal of Honor winner with similar qualifications. This being Bilderberger Week, we find ourselves asking who our masters are. I will simply offer you a glimpse at their enforcers and tell you the history you have been taught. Much of it you have read, seen on television, watched daily on the Military History Channel and such, is not just a blend of truth and a sea of propaganda, but more insidious. To the rulers, the wars, 1 and 2 and so many others, are but squabbles, opportunities for profit, signposts along the way toward an end that will leave the planet unrecognizable and de-peopled. Our elite, the CFR, the Bilderbergers, and such would be allowed to serve tea to our rulers. I won't discuss them, but were one to take a DNA sample, more would be understood. Fukushima 2, dusting America with plutonium. Now there is another task, one aimed at the United States, willing to sacrifice more of Japan, a dying nation as we speak, willing to lay waste to even northern Germany, and in Buren's, the homeland, Hitler is so willing to see destroyed as undeserving of his trust. As we are told, the dates will be June 21st or 22nd. We have a second confirmation for August 17th. These predictions never turn out, trust me. But anyhow, both are earthquakes, same area, tremendous damage, one a nuclear disaster, one predicted as natural but reported by an intelligence agency. We looked for responses from South Korea, none, and from China, who apparently has been active in moving to control North Korea through a series of assassinations. So you can finish reading the entire article at Veterans Today. I'll post a link to this article. But, you know, regarding this second earthquake from Japan, it can easily happen regardless. It doesn't have to be deliberate. And we are all at risk. We are. Simply because Japan is sitting on a very precarious area. And so it's likely to happen regardless. So there you have it, folks. Marcia signing out. Thanks for watching this video.